The rumor mill has been insane the last couple days. We've got a ton of information to break down for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Let's take a look. Yo, whoa, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Dan, aka A-Drive. I'm bringing you guys a brand new video today, and today we're gonna be talking everything Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, leaks, rumors, everything in between, riddles. You know we got it all covered here. There's actually a lot we're gonna break down in this video. So like it if you enjoy and subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. So let's take a look. Before we dive in, me and my buddy Chester over there need to tell you about something that is out of this world. My friends at Cosmic Wings are changing the game with their delivery online only restaurant featuring a variety of wings, sauces, cheese bites, and incredible waffle fries. Imagine having your favorite wings and cheese bites covered in Cheetos and flaming hot Cheetos. Yes, it's definitely as good as it sounds. These are most certainly going to be your new favorite wings. We had a ton of fun the other day on my live stream where I opened up Pokemon card packs while eating these epic Cheeto wings, and I had dust all over my fingers, and we had a blast. So you guys can enjoy some clips from that, including the epic Mega Cheetozard Y, which is probably gonna make you cringe. Don't hate me. Every single time I pulled a Mega Charizard! Look at my hands! Oh, I knew I had a feeling today would be the day I was gonna pull a Charizard. So what are you waiting for? Don't waste any time and check out the description below and treat yourself to some Cosmic Wings. Available now at cosmicwings.com or on your favorite delivery app. Thanks again to Cosmic Wings for sponsoring today's video. Thanks, Chester. All right, so we're gonna start with where the Riddler was a few days ago, with this image screenshot saying that there's 2 teasers for 2 new regional forms, one of which is the bull image with the kind of matador and the triple bull, and then there's the other image with all the different numbers on it, 3, 2, 4, 5, etc. So a lot of people are speculating a few different things. First of all, we're kind of trying to separate these as 2 different riddles here, one of which is something related to maybe Tauros or maybe even Snubbull, which could be a thing, maybe a Monitor or some sort of new bull evolution, as obviously we have this new region, Scarlet and Violet, taking place in Spain, and Matadors, bulls, the running of the bulls, all this stuff is so important to that kind of region, so it would make sense that there's going to be some sort of representation there. But when we look at the second post, I found this post from Soul Silver, which was actually originally from, I think, another person, but ultimately here, it says, I got on my computer to crack the second riddle. I had a suspicion it was gonna be this, but here it is. So what they're doing here is they actually pop in the hex or HTML codes for the various numbers on the second riddle, and it turns out to generate 2 particular colors, a watercolor and a ground color. Now, the reason why this is valid here is when we go back to kind of the leaks for Legends Arceus, there were instances of the Riddler using different codes like HTML or RGB or CMYK codes or whatever it is to provide riddles in the past. So for the Riddler to give us a riddle that was in HTML or hex is not out of this world. In fact, that's like right along with what the Riddler would do. So what this breaks down to is this person is saying, well, that means there are a handful of particular water and ground types in the game, and they all happen to be in generation 2, 3, 4, and 5, which is exactly the numbers located on this image, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So those images, you know, in theory are representing the generation. So again, Quagsire, Swampert, Whiscash, Gastrodon, or Seismitoad, predicting that one of those lines is getting a regional form. And I'm buying in here, right? Like you're seeing the pieces to the puzzle here. So obviously Swampert probably not getting a regional form, right? It's a starter. Could it happen? Sure, right? We just saw regional forms for Typhlosion, Decidueye, you know what I mean? So I guess that is possible, Hisuian forms, but relatively unlikely. But what happens to stand out here is actually the Pokemon Whiscash, because out of these options, Whiscash happens to be related to Spain, as we talked about with Tauros. On the mighty river Ebro in Spain, the catfish capital of Europe, fish to over 200 pounds are regularly hooked and landed by anglers. So it's all about these particular fish. And then it says, the Wells catfish is a name on many freshwater anglers' bucket list because of its sheer size and powerful fighting qualities. So there's a particular catfish that is, you know, often looked at as being a really good catch, I guess, in the river here. So Whiscash happens to be that catfish. So anyway, whether that's related, whether that's a thing, I don't know, but I'm buying into this as a potential kind of uncovering of this riddle, and I think that there could realistically be a regional form for Quagsire, Swampert, Whiscash, Gastrodon, or Seismitoad, with Whiscash being the one that kind of stands out the most at this time. Shifting gears, there's been a lot of focus on when the next kind of trailer is going to be, and it seems as though the Pokemon stars are starting to align in a way to maybe get us something this month. And I've been saying I think it's gonna be soon, sooner than later. We're in the month of May now. It's Cinco de Mayo, by the way. And, you know, we'll have to wait and see. But Kelios, who is known to be somewhat of an insider, has indicated a couple posts here saying that they would speculate by the end of May, which I thought was worthwhile mentioning here. And then we have El Chico Eevee, a primary Pokemon Unite data miner, who is indicating that there's supposed to be a new Pokemon coming on Monday, May 16th, according to Batwix Gaming here, with a new game mode in Pokemon Unite. So if there's a big Pokemon Unite announcement, perhaps we're headed towards a Pokemon Direct. And then we talked yesterday in a video in more depth about this, about Pokemon Home, and Central Leaks reporting on Pokemon Home being closer to being finished. The update is now almost finished, likely in testing. So you've got the Unite aspect. You've got obviously the, you know, kind of the thought that eventually they're going to do some new news. You've got the Pokemon Home stuff going on. I think there's a chance that we could actually be getting some sort of a trailer soon that maybe combines all of them. Or at the very least, I think Pokemon Home with some of the other stuff. We have seen Pokemon Unite be added into the main Pokemon trailers, so it wouldn't be surprising to do a bigger direct to update people on the franchise. Inevitably, it's going to happen soon-ish. Now, there's a few other things I'm going to talk about in this video. I'm going to go through them pretty quickly. These are the most recent rumors that have surfaced in terms of the community. One is this image of this lion from 4chan with, you know, kind of the flower tail, and it's got, you know, flower petals around its lion mane. This thing's gotta be fake, dude. There's no, I believe Pineapple Oddish is a real Pokemon before I believe this Pyroar looking plant thing is real. This just is, I don't see it. This image is spreading around like crazy. I don't see it at all. I'll take the L if I'm wrong. I think it's fake. There was a post that got posted, the PokeLeaks subreddit, with 301 upvotes, 207 comments. People are going nuts over this, saying Pokemon Presents announcement on Friday. If there's gonna be an announcement on Friday, we would have already had that. So this already tells me that it's not gonna be this Friday, because I feel like if there was gonna be a Pokemon Presents, maybe they're saying that the announcement for the Presents is Friday and then there'll be the Presents later on. I don't know. But they say the main gimmick is a spirit Pokemon that can inhabit any Pokemon and grant a third type to all Pokemon for 3 turns, called Anicyphus. I don't know what that is. Dude, there's no way. There's no way. I just don't see that in any world where you have a spirit Pokemon inhabiting Pokemon for a third type. It says no starter Evos. What? Are you saying that they're not gonna reveal starter Evos, or that the starter Pokemon don't evolve? Imagine doing a Fuecoco only run. This dude doesn't even evolve. No, it's gotta be that they're not gonna reveal starter Evos. Region is called Sagradell. I believe that's the name of the family. I gotta look it up. Now, well, it's the La Sagrada Familia. I failed Spanish. So Sagradell, that's a good name. Main theme is school rivalry between the Scarlet Institute and the Violet Academy. I feel like that's a lot of thoughts right now. The fact that you wear something different for the game is what a lot of people are kind of basing that off of. A couple new Pokemon. It says Haliburtarda is a regional burn, looks like a pigeon. Puercovine, or Puercovine. Puercovine. We got a Grass Pig. You got Tentacruel, the Tentacruel evolution. I can see Tentacruel getting a new evolution. Parasur, a Parasite evolution. Give me that. I would actually love that. It says regional looks orange or water type. Listen, man, I don't know. This is not real, dude. There's no way. I just don't buy it for a second. Man. There's been a couple other posts that have been spreading around that I just feel like I'm not following them. I'm not believing them. It's just like text posts. But if you guys want me to cover that stuff, I can give you more of that, and we can laugh at some of the names and stuff. But that's been what's going on, and I'm gonna keep you guys updated on both the stuff that's probably fake, like this stuff, or, you know, some of the legit stuff like we talked about at the beginning of the video. I really think that Whiscash could get a regional form. Like, I could see that happening. That Pokemon feels very regional formy to me, and I think giving it Dragon Dance with like a dragon typing, or who knows, it's not a bad type, so there's a lot of potential there for sure. So that's everything going on in the world of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. We're just waiting at this point for that trailer, but I gotta believe it's coming this month. I really do. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like the video if you did, and of course subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. My name is Dan Alsco by A-Drop, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.